whilst crunching develops all of the core, sometimes people want to specifically focus on a part of the core to kind of work more than others. And you might want to specifically target your side muscles, and these are your obliques. Now again, they will work when you're doing normal crunches, but you can specifically target those by doing some sort of lateral or sideways movement. Now there's a couple of crunches variations that we can do that will target these. Let me demonstrate. The first one I'm going to call just a lateral crunch. So I'm laying on my side, I've got my hand on my head, this hand's here just out of the way, and all I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to contract and try and lift my rib cage off the ground, being in a side position. So I'm really kind of just doing like a side bend laying on the ground. And this will quite specifically target these sort of side abdominal muscles. Now a more advanced version of that is what I call fish out of waters. And what that is that if you put your hand above your head like this and stay on your side, what I want you to try and do now is I want you to try and contract and lift your rib cage and your legs off the ground at the same time. Now this is substantially harder. What typically happens when people do this exercise is they will lose it and they'll kind of fall back out of position and they'll start kind of doing this sort of stuff like this. It's not what this exercise is about. So one of the sort of developments that we're after with your core is to develop good core stability and coordination and balance, and this sort of exercise is a good measure of how good that is or not, but it also is a great way of being able to train your core to be able to maintain difficult positions whilst you're doing some sort of activity. So there's a couple of great ways you can train the side parts of your core rather than just all doing sort of standard crunching type of movements. Now the last exercise we covered in an earlier lesson, but I just wanted to quickly run through a crunch on a Swiss ball again. Now I call this an extended crunch and you'll see why. So I'm going to put my feet against the wall purely because the floor's a bit slippery. Normally I'd suggest you just have your feet on the flat surface. Now what I want to do here is I want to set the position up so that I can hang way over the ball. So it's all about having an extended spine and core, which is key to the exercise. I'm going to put my hands underneath to support my head. Now I'm not pulling with my head, I'm just putting my hands here to support my head. And what I want to now do is abdominal brace and take my chest to the ceiling. So abdominal brace, chest straight up and all the way down again. Little relaxation, recontract, chest to the sky, relax, contract, chest to the sky, relax, contract, chest to the sky. Again, not being tempted to start to curl this way. You're trying to lift straight up to the ceiling and then all the way back down again. And that's an extremely good way of training the core from an extended position, which is something in future courses I'll spend a lot of time on, is preparing the core to be able to handle extreme movements, positions and angles, which again will lead to the ultimate functional core.